Assalamu alaikum students. I hope that you are doing well and enjoying your e-lessons as well as Zoom classes and doing your assignments, home tasks with responsibility. Now let's move towards our next assignment.
Assignment 10, Novel, Matilda, Chapter 5 to 8. Assalamu alaikum students, how are you? I'm sure you will be in the best of your health and must have completed your home tasks too. I hope you have bought your books and SPSC notebooks. Alright, today we will be doing novel and we will cover several chapters in that, and also I'll tell you about the character sketch. This video is divided into different parts too. Okay, so we'll start with the sight words first. As you know, you have to repeat after me, right? So do repeat after me. Bearable, asinine, dreaded, appalling, arithmetic, goggling, exceedingly, vigorous, splendid, shrieking, formidable, bewilderment, gigantic, tyrannical, liquidize, temptation, epicure, dainty, limerick, scarlet, obstinate, arrogant, eccentric. Alright, I'll briefly tell you what happened in the previous chapters. As you know, Matilda is an extraordinary child, but she is neglected by the parents. She learns to read at a very little age. For her parents' misbehavior, she often punishes them, like putting super glue in her father's hat, making them scared by using a talking parrot, etc. Alright, now I'm going to tell you chapter 5, arithmetic. Right, the only thing that keeps her going is her plot of playing revenge pranks. Okay, while the parrot ghost brought her a week of relative peace, it can't last forever. We're talking here about Matilda, right? Soon enough, trouble strikes again. One night, family is waiting to have dinner. Mr. Wormwood had what he thinks is a great day at work because he sold 5 cars. He makes up a story problem for Mike. Mike is a short name or nickname for Michael, based on what he bought each car for and resold it at, like profit, calculating profit. He wants Mike to do the math because he wants him to join his business when he grows up. Mike tells his dad he is great and smart, and Mr. Wormwood boasts about one of his special marketing tools as well. Even so, the math is way too complicated for Mike, who writes all the numbers down and can't do the total in his head. When he starts adding the numbers, Matilda jumps in with her answer. Obviously, she did it immediately in her head. Mr. Wormwood just tries to ignore her, but Matilda sticks up for herself and asks him to double check. Her dad's horrified to discover that Matilda was right. He promptly accuses her of being a cheat and liar. He says that Matilda must have sneaked over to see the answer, which he had written down, but she tells him that it wasn't physically possible because she was sitting away from him in a chair. Then Mrs. Wormwood interrupts everyone coming in with their food at dinner. Mr. Wormwood makes them watch TV and won't let Matilda defend herself against the idea that she's a cheater. Okay, now next chapter, the Platinum Blonde Man. This chapter picks up right where the last one left off. Matilda is really upset at the way her dad acted. All she did was come up with the right math answer. She doesn't let her feelings show during dinner, but she plots and schemes in her clever little mind. The following day, Matilda puts her new plan into action. She goes to family's bathroom and gets out her mother's blonde hair dye. It's very strong and full of peroxide. Her target in this plan is her father's black hair. He puts a special tonic in it every day to keep it dark and shiny. Mischievous Matilda replaces most of her father's tonic The following day, Matilda puts her new plan into action. She goes to the family's bathroom and gets out her mother's blonde hair dye. It's very strong and full of peroxide. Her target in this plan is her father's black hair. He's really proud of him. He puts a special tonic in it every day to keep it dark and shiny. Mischievous Matilda replaces most of her father's tonic with her mother's hair dye. At breakfast, she and her brother eat while her mother makes their dad's food. Mr. Wormwood arrives, full of self-importance, but Matilda doesn't want to look at her dad in case she can't hold it together. Then Mrs. Wormwood enters. She sees what happened to her husband's hair and starts shouting. He gets mad, wondering what all the fuss is about, but Mrs. Wormwood is too busy flipping out because his hair has turned kind of silvery. It looks in a way gross, like it looks dirty. In fact, Mrs. Wormwood and Mike are so upset that Mr. Wormwood freaks out too. He looks in a mirror, sees himself, and starts shouting. At that point, Matilda innocently offers up the theory that he used Mrs. Wormwood's hair dye accidentally. Mrs. Wormwood tells Mr. Wormwood he has to wash hair his hair as soon as possible, and even then it may be too late. At the very least, he'll have to dye his hair back in black color, and at the very worst, it might fall out. He races up to the bathroom to wash his hair and tell Mrs. Wormwood to call the hair salon. After that, Mrs. Wormwood, in a shocking shift from her normal behavior, actually talks to Matilda, saying that men act ignorantly sometimes. Okay, that was the end of chapter 6. Now we will move towards chapter 7, which is Miss. Okay, so it's a big day for Matilda, right? Because it's first day of school. She's attending Cruncham Hall Primary School. Of course, smart Matilda could have gone earlier, and the fact that she didn't show what careless parents she has, Matilda goes into the equivalent of kindergarten, the youngest age group. Her teacher is the super nice Miss Honey, whom everybody loves. This school is run by a really scary woman named Miss Trunchbull. She terrifies everyone. She is gigantic, furious, tyrannical monster who frightens the life out of the students and teachers. The narrator compares her to a rhinoceros. Ooh, Mrs. Trunchbull, okay? In the first class meeting, Miss Honey gives her students some advice about trying to stay off Miss Trunchbull's radar. Maths time students, Miss Honey asks them if they know their multiplication tables, starting with 2. Matilda does, but no one else. In fact, she keeps going up and up until Miss Honey asks her to stop. At this point, Miss Honey is only more curious. She asks a bunch of math questions using multiples of 2, and Matilda nails all of them. When Matilda tells Miss Honey she knows a bunch of other math stuff too, Miss Honey is really impressed She tries to act normally though, so Matilda doesn't stand up too much. No matter how or why Matilda can do what she does, Miss Honey suspects Matilda is a super genius. She's special. So Miss Honey decides to test whether Matilda is as good at language as she is at math. Of course, she pretends she's asking the whole class questions, but she is really focused on Matilda. First, Miss Honey asks them to spell cat and then to read a whole sentence. Only Matilda can read it. Matilda shows that she knows what kind of poem it is. It's a limerick. She asks if she knows what a limerick is, and she says it's a five lines humorous poem, and then she recites one she just made up about Miss Honey. As you might expect, it's a very complimentary poem, and Miss Honey is blown away. The rest of the kids in the class all like the poem, and they like Miss Honey too. Okay students, that's the end of part 1, and see you later inshallah in part 2.